Almost 30 years ago, faced with the rapid de-Christianization of Europe, and speaking of the need of a new evangelization, Pope John Paul II sent the first 100 families from the neo-catechumenal way to the most remote corners of the old continent to establish the presence of the Church where the gospel had never been heard or where it had been forgotten. At the same time, recognizing the need of clergy with a missionary spirit, Pope John Paul II opened, in the Diocese of Rome, the first Redemptoris Mater Seminary to form diocesan missionary priests to support and accompany the families in their mission. To date, 105 bishops from 5 continents have followed the example of Pope St. John Paul II and have opened Redemptoris Mater seminaries in their own dioceses, where more than 2,000 priests have already been ordained and are now serving the Church throughout the world. From Chile to China, from Ukraine to Uganda, from Madagascar to Mongolia, the priests of these seminaries are fulfilling a vision of the Fathers of the Council, who said that at the very heart of the priest is the solicitude for the needs of the whole Church. In this way, the Church also responds to the need of a better distribution of the clergy worldwide. In our own archdiocese, inspired by the example of Pope St. John Paul II, and faced with the urgent need to renew the Church, 10 years ago, Cardinal Sean O'Malley opened the Redemptoris Mater Seminary of Boston for the formation of priests for the new evangelization of the Church. No authentic renewal of the Church comes about without the renewal of the clergy. By opening this seminary, the Cardinal sought to give the Church priests who live with the smell of the sheep and who are modeled after Christ the Good Shepherd. Currently, at the Redemptoris Mater Seminary of Boston, there are 25 seminarians from 11 different countries preparing for the priesthood for the Archdiocese of Boston. All of them have discovered their vocation in the neo-catechumenal way, a special gift of the Holy Spirit, defined by Pope St. John Paul II as an itinerary of Catholic formation valid for our society and our times. Here, in our seminary, the 4 traditional pillars of the formation of every priest, namely the human, the academic, the spiritual, and the pastoral, are articulated in an organic tripod that comprises daily life in the seminary, the intellectual formation at St. John's Seminary, and participation in the neo-catechumenal way. To prepare as missionary priests, seminarians are sent for 3 years to mission outposts where they learn to live on the providence of God and embark in the joys and trials of evangelization. Currently, 7 of our seminarians are in formation in various places, both in the United States and overseas. Fernando is in New Mexico. Benito is in Louisiana and Texas. Eric Velasquez is in Arizona. Machi is in Brooklyn with the Missio Ad Gentes. Eric Gonzalez is in California. Joe Almeida is in Israel. And Shemek is in the distant and exotic islands of Kiribati. Daily life in the seminary begins at 6:30 in the morning. After morning prayer, there is breakfast, and right after, the seminarians are off to lectures, either at St. John's Seminary or English Language School. They return home for lunch, and depending on their schedule, either go back for afternoon classes or stay in the house for personal study time. At 5 p.m. there is Vespers and the celebration of the Eucharist. On Thursdays from 5 to 8 p.m. there is the Scrutatio of the Word. Every week, the seminarians join their communities for the celebration of the Word in the middle of the week and Eucharist on Saturday evenings. Dinner is served at 8 p.m., and after washing the dishes, cleaning the kitchen, and setting up the dining room for tomorrow's breakfast, night prayer at 10 p.m. concludes the day and announces the Great Silence. Saturdays are typical days of cleaning in the seminary. As we celebrate our 10th anniversary, we are grateful to God for the 4 presbyters and 2 deacons formed at Redemptoris Mater Seminary. Today they are serving parishes of the Archdiocese, but are also ready to be sent anywhere in the world where there is a need. In the words of Pope Francis, their mission is to bring Christ into every area of life, to the fringes of society, even to those who seem farthest away, most indifferent. May the celebration of this Jubilee Year of Mercy enkindle in all of us renewed purpose and zeal to go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Mary, star of the new evangelization, pray for us.